The Tier Champions Cup wraps up in Texas. The men's college water polo regular season is in the books, and we've got state champs from all over the country in high school water polo next on the Counterattack. Hi everyone, Greg Mescall here. Thanks for joining us on the Counterattack. Sometimes we say we have a jam-packed show and it's not as jam-packed as we could have made it. This week, not the case. I don't know what else we could possibly fit in this program, so you, the viewer at home, is getting your money's worth, and since it's YouTube, you're really getting a bonus. It's free. We start things off first with the Tier Champions Cup, which was held this past weekend in Lewisville, Texas, just north of Dallas. It's the USA Water Polo 14 and under National Championship event, and we've got highlights from both the boys and girls divisions. Let's take you down to Texas and get right into the action. To the Lewisville ISD Westside Aquatic Center we go. Third place action, boys division, CC United, San Diego Shores. We started off early for the Shores. Max Keck gets things going. He puts the Shores ahead 1-0. Not long after, Dashiell McFarland, he responds. We're all tied at 1. Moments later, Gavin Rosser with the fist putting this one in to even things out once more. We're square at 2-2. We jump ahead now. CC United starting to pull away. Opening the third, it's Mark Lorland. He'll score it here, making it 8-3. CC ahead. San Diego Shores trying to rally. Matthew Stone delivers, making it 9-5. But in the end, too much CC United. Jagger Becken puts this one into the back of the net. He would put his squad ahead at 10-5, and they win it 10-6, taking third. We now go to the title match in the boys division. Two of the best from Southern California, SoCal Water Polo and Vanguard meeting in Texas for the gold. SoCal off to the quick start. They're ahead 2-1, not for long. Vanguard turns to Garrett Lee. He evens the game up at 2-2. Not long after that, Randall Macias on the penalty shot. He'll put Vanguard ahead 3-4. Dylan Pattist scores in the second quarter here, making it 4-3. SoCal goes back in front. Then maybe the best name I've ever heard, Whitaker Warland connecting here for SoCal to put his squad ahead 5-3. Vanguard again on the comeback trail. Ethan Shipman making it 5-4 with this goal. More Garrett Lee. We saw him early. We see him again. He ties the game here in the third at 5-5. Cooper Haddad opening up that lead for Vanguard later on. He makes it 9-7. Vanguard goes back to their captain, Joshua Bowman. He puts this one away 10-7. Do we have a Whitaker Warland sighting? We do. He connects here as SoCal tries to come back. They make it 10-8, but they couldn't climb all the way over the hump. They fall in this one. Vanguard, your gold medalists, they take it 10-9. Afterwards, we caught up with Ethan Shipman and Coach Urosh on the big victory.
We really went back to the basics. These guys have played water polo for a long time, but since the beginning we focused on the most basic things and fundamentals and slowly build it up where they can play pretty advanced water polo. I was pretty impressed with how they played this entire weekend, not just last game, but they really stepped up in a very short period of time. It's a great feeling. This is something that we talked about for quite a while, at least a couple months with this group. We were a little bit disappointed last year. We did not qualify. We were here 2 years ago. It was a great feeling. Now we're happy to be back. This is something the boys worked very hard for since September, and they earned it.
One thing I'll say about Vanguard is it's not an individual and water polo. It's not an individual sport. It's a team effort. Great feeling. Just worked really hard to get here. We've been working all fall towards this goal, and it was a really good moment.
Now to the girls division, third place action, 680 and Rose Bowl getting together. We start things off here in the first. Skylar Jones with the steal for 680. She'll beat the keeper and put her squad ahead 1-0. The lead short-lived for 680 as this game was all Rose Bowl. Rachel Amuhata responds with a score 1-1. Then a little bit later on, Natalie Wilmans, she had herself a heck of a game. She extends the lead to 3-1 with this outside shot. Later on, more Natalie Wilmans. She's auditioning here for the N1 Mixtape Water Polo Tour. She goes around her body with this beautiful delivery. Don't try it at home. Rose Bowl in control, 7-1. Wilmans then cashing in on the rebound, makes it 10-1. 680 gets one back late. Marcella Russell finding the back of the net. That makes it 13-3, but it was all Rose Bowl. The squad from Pasadena cruises to bronze, 17-3. Now on to the gold medal match in the girls division. SoCal Black, Santa Barbara 805. Pick it up early on. Tia Poljak scoring first here for SoCal. 1-0, they go ahead. Abigail Hendricks answering the call for Santa Barbara, tying it at 1-1. But early on, all SoCal Julia Jonoff scores the first of many goals to put her club ahead 3-1. Abigail Hendricks trying to help Santa Barbara keep pace, closes it to 4-2 here in the first half. Then Jewel Romer in that national team pipeline, she makes it 4-3 going up against some difficult defense. But back to the scoring machine, Jonoff for SoCal, she buries another, putting her club ahead 5-3. Santa Barbara 8:05 roaring all the way back after a penalty shot made it 5-4. Ella Prentice ties the game up right here. We're even at 5-5. Then 8:05 would go ahead. Check out Hannah Meyer scoring here to make it 6-5. Back and forth we'd go. Mallory Reynoso tying things up for SoCal 6-6. More Prentice, she opens the third for 8:05, putting them ahead 7-6. And now Santa Barbara 8:05 looking to cruise to a gold medal, but they've got to deal with Jonoff. She scores again, making it 9-7, just as Santa Barbara thought they were pulling away. They go back to Jewel Romer later on. She'll deliver the penalty shot to make it 10-8, and despite a late goal from SoCal's Kennedy East, Santa Barbara 8:05 hangs on. They win it 10-9, your gold medalist at the Tier Champions Cup. Afterwards, Coach Kathy Neuschel and Ella Prentice talking big victories.
Most importantly, it was a very good game, both on SoCal's and our part. And, this is very early in the season with everybody kind of gears toward Junior Olympics. And I have no doubt that us and SoCal will have many more battles. These girls have worked, like all teams, have worked really hard. They played together last year throughout the whole season as a group of 7th graders. And this is kind of the result of what happens when you do that. And they were ready to come out and play.
It feels great. We've worked hard for the last few years, however long each person has been playing, and we really played as a team, and I think that really showed in our game. We played this tournament for our friend Sabina Shackelford. She has mono and pneumonia and a double ear infection, so we're really glad that we won this for her.
In addition to all the competition, every year at the Tier Champions Cup, sportsmanship awards are handed out. They're named in honor of Olympic stars for Team USA, Maureen O'Toole and Jody Campbell. The two were on hand to present a recipient from each club participating in the Tier Champions Cup. Congratulations to all those honored. Full names available at usawaterpolo.org.
It's a great honor to win this award, knowing that I'm one of the few chosen out of every team. I think it's really great to have this tournament to show everyone in the country that every zone has a great team. Everyone's coming together and we're playing against each other, and it's really been a great weekend for everyone.
This weekend was a big one for water polo at all levels. The Tier Champions Cup down in Texas, high school water polo around the country, and men's college water polo all over the country as well. It was also the final weekend of the regular season. That weekend always brings out two of the best matchups in the land. USC and UCLA in the crosstown splashdown, Cal and Stanford in what they call the Big Splash. Pac-12 networks covered both games. We have highlights of both, starting first with UCLA and USC, and a huge day for keeper Garrett Danner. He had a career-high 19 saves. Let's take you to the highlights, wins for UCLA and for the Cal Bears.
The crosstown splashdown, but SC barely made a ripple today after leading 2-0. UCLA went on an 11-2 close over the last 3.5 quarters, and UCLA, number one in the nation, remains unbeaten at 25-0. Garrett Danner in the pipes today, a career-high 19 saves.
This game was a blueprint for what every water polo coach would want. It started with goalkeeping. Garrett Danner seemed to be everywhere on defense, stopping all of these in-close attempts. Look at how aggressive he is out of the goal. That was the entire match. After those two early on, he really settled down and made things impossible for USC. And then that sparked the offense, and this man, Ryder Roberts.
Ryder Roberts, who comes in as the leading scorer for UCLA. 46 goals coming in. He had one each in the first, second, and third. He bags his hat trick. By the time he got to the fourth quarter, he was over checking his Twitter feed. UCLA wins easily today. Look at the saves, 19 for Danner. Is that the best you've ever seen him, Greg?
Yeah, especially in a game of this level. You have to look back, of course, some of the postseason, but regular season in this rivalry, he can't do much better than this.
USC, number 4 in the country, ends at 18-5. UCLA, number 1 in the nation, 25-0, and the Bruins now have beat the men of Troy 5 straight times. Garrett, SC scored the first 2 times, but after that you shut them down. What changed?
You know, it's always hard to come out and play against SC. They always come out super hard and super aggressive. They got a couple on us real quick, but once we're able to settle down and stick to our game plan, we're able to limit their goals the rest of the game.
Garrett, 19 saves, a great number, but it also means you faced a ton of shots out there. What was kind of your strategy defensively? Were you forcing SC to try and beat you from the perimeter?
I mean, they have great centers. They have great guys that can post up very well, so makes it very hard for us to stay in a press the whole time. But we know if we come back and our guys are able to take their angles, hopefully I can make up for whatever's missed, and we're able to do that this game, and it's a great result for us.
Congratulations on another conference championship. That's 2 in a row. You're number 1 in the nation. You haven't lost in a year, and double figures in saves for you for the 12th time. Good luck at the tournament. We'll see you across town.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
The Golden Bears win the 2015 Big Splash 13-8, scoring the last 7 goals of the game to win the Steve Easton Trophy. As Cal wraps up the regular season in 3rd place. But first, in the first half, it was Drew Holland keeping the Cardinal in the game.
Holland doing everything for this Stanford team, really not getting the kind of help one would need from defense, facing a lot of shots that don't have hands up in front of him. But he was lights out today. Looked to me like 18 unofficial saves knocking the ball down, but it wasn't enough for this Cal team.
And Colin Mulcahy and Luca Cupido took over in the second half. Mulcahy with 5 goals. Cupido really getting a couple past Holland in impressive fashion and showing off to the crowd as well.
And again, they're doing it, from the outside. Stanford has got to be knocking the ball down. But here's, Colin Mulcahy, a senior playing in his final season, his final game in the Stanford pool. He grew up around here. He's a Los Altos kid. His dad played in high school around here. I competed against his dad. But with the presence of mind, a lot of different places you could pass the ball, with the presence of mind to shoot the ball when and where he did. But in addition to that, he was able to play such great defense. He had steals, he had field blocks, and that's what makes this Cal team dangerous, is they're so balanced. UCLA may be undefeated in the MPSF, but Cal may be the most dangerous team in the entire conference, and that's going to pay dividends next week.
Well, that'll do it for us. Cal beats Stanford 13-8 for Chris Dortz. I'm Kevin Dana. The Golden Bears win by 5.
With the regular season all complete, the postseason is on the way. Conference tournaments get going this weekend. Let's take you to some other scores that will help shape that postseason picture. The class of the SCIAC division, Claremont Mud Scripts, they capped their perfect record in league play, downing Pomona Pitzer 12-7. Pacific secured the number 2 seed in the MPSF tournament, defeating Long Beach State 12-8. It was a close one between UC Irvine and Pepperdine, 12-11. They'll both be competing this weekend in conference play. And last but not least, Whittier, where I'm told the water polo is prettier, downed Laverne 15-9 to close out their regular year. We'll have full information on postseason tournaments coming up on usawaterpolo.org this week. And speaking of great action, this weekend, more TV coverage of men's water polo, the MPSF tournament. First time ever it's being televised on the Pac-12 networks. 3rd place, 1st place this Sunday. Set your DVRs. Pac-12 Networks, Los Angeles and Bay Area, or watch live on pac-12.com. And now we turn our attention to the national team scene and our USA Women's National Team. They'll be taking on their old rival Australia in a 3-game series here in Southern California starting next Monday. Tickets are on sale right now at usawaterpolo.org. Don't miss your chance to see Team USA in action against Australia. Here are the 3 spots where the games will be played. Monday, November 22nd, down in La Jolla, California at the Kogan Aquatic Center. Then the next day at the Joint Forces Training Base in Los Alamitos. And we wrap things up the day after Thanksgiving. Forget your Black Friday shopping. Get out to Dos Pueblos High School in Goleta for a 2 p.m. start between USA and Australia. And we'll also be streaming all of those matches live right here at youtube.com/USAWP. More information on Team USA. We told you last week they are finalists for the Team USA Olympic Team of the Year. Voting for that remains open. Make sure you go to teamusa.org to cast your vote for our Team USA. You can vote for other athletes, but when we're talking teams, make sure you vote for USA Water Polo. The squad right now, they're in Rio taking part in an event leading up to next year's Olympic Games. You can see some photos here from Team USA as they are in Brazil getting used to their surroundings and playing some of the top teams in women's international water polo. Now we jump into the high school water polo scene. We told you last week that because of a hiatus here in the show, we missed a bunch of the state champs around the country. We're going to make up for that right now with a laundry list of high school champs from all over the country, including many that were crowned this past weekend in various states. If you don't see your team photo, be sure to hit us up on Twitter or Facebook. Send in your team picture. We'll make sure we get it featured on our social media channels and also right here on the show. Let's get to it. We start things off first in Georgia, the Division I-II champs, Norcross High School. Congrats to the Blue Devil program, always one of the best. Division III, we don't have a photo here, but it's Wesleyan. Congrats to those folks. Now we move on to Maryland, the MIAA Prep champs, Calvert Hall. We told you last week they also won the Northeast Prep title. They originally had won the Maryland Prep Championship. To Ohio, OHIO on the girls' side, Upper Arlington claims the championship. For the boys, check out St. Xavier. Congrats to that squad. We move next door, Pennsylvania. Boys Championship. Cumberland Valley are your winners in the boys division. And just this past weekend on the girls' side, it is North Penn claiming the title. Up to Michigan, Ann Arbor Skyline, a 12-8 winner over Hudsonville. Congrats to Skyline, one of the many schools that is Ann Arbor something. Skyline takes it. All the way out west, Washington, their boys state championship. It's Curtis High School defeating Bellevue 9-7. We go south now down the Oregon Trail to Oregon and girls and boys final action 4A, 5A. The winners on the girls side, Summit. Boys 4A, 5A, Mountain View over Summit 7-5. Girls 6A, Newburgh tops Sam Barlow, the school 9-6. The boys 6A over that same Sam Barlow school. Tough weekend for those guys and girls. 14-5. Congrats to Newburgh on the sweep there in 6A in Oregon. Now we hop on the 5 freeway and go south to the CIF SJ section in Northern California. Division I boys, it's Lodi topping Davis 11-10. D2 boys, St. Mary's defeating Rio Americano 12-8. Division III on the boys' side, Ripon over Sonora 13-3. Now to girls, Division I, and they're led by the Olympian Heather Moody. St. Francis edging Davis 5-4. Same score, Division II, Oakdale tops Del Oro 5-4. Division III girls, Kimball over El Captain, or is it El Capitan? Either way, the final was 10-8. Now CIF North Coast, D1 boys, Campolindo. Campo for short, they defeat Sir Francis Drake 5-4. D2 boys, Northgate over Tamalpais 8-5. Division I girls, San Ramon Valley 3 goals better than Monte Vista 9-6. And last but not least, D2 girls, Miramani over Campolindo 9-4. More great high school water polo action this weekend, especially right here in California. If you win a state championship, make sure you get that team together, take a picture, and then send it in to us on Twitter, Instagram, right here on Facebook, everywhere else. We want to make sure that we're recognizing the best of what you're all doing around the country in high school water polo. Now we close things out with our social media send-off as we do every episode. Let's get right to it with the best of the week in social media. We started off Lake Ridge Water Polo. If you're not going to win a state championship, at least make a great cake. Well done, folks, in Oregon. That's from the Pacer H2O Polo Twitter account. This is a lovely water polo cake, but aren't they all? From there, Lucerna High School getting hyped for the CIF playoffs. They go all in on the Fatheads. It's great to see schools do this, and they have, looks to be everyone on the team represented. We mentioned that Team USA is down in Rio. Team USA captain Maggie Steffens meeting the Rio mascot, the stuffed animal edition. Thanks to NBC Olympics for sharing that on Twitter. Now we go to Maddie Musselman on Twitter from Rio de Janeiro, signing her national letter of intent to play water polo at UCLA. Back in my day when I was being recruited by exactly 0 programs to play sports in college, you had to fax in your NLI. How far things have come. While she's playing for Team USA, can also just fire up the computer and figure out she's going to be a Bruin for the next 4 years. From there, we stay in Rio. Adam Krikorian, while training and running practice for Team USA along with some games, he also held a clinic for some local athletes in Rio de Janeiro. Marie Canetti, WP4, sharing that via her Twitter account. And last, we finish up with a feel-good story. Shout out to the Newport Harbor High School boys. Their holiday food drive raised over 500 pounds of food for the homeless. Well done, sailors. Don't forget to show us the best of what you're doing on social media. Use the hashtag counterattack, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We want to show off what you're showing off on social media. Got that? That'll do it for this week's episode. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, when you're on the counterattack, look weak side.